All right, everyone. Ron Toy with the Ron Toy team at Cross Country Mortgage doing my live. Yesterday wasn't feeling that great. I think I got some food poisoning situation from some Uber Eats. That is what it is. But today, well, there wasn't much going on in the market anyway on Monday, so it would have been a very boring live. But today, the market's up 20 basis points, which means rates are coming down, hoping that the market closes above the 100-day moving average, which is 100.539. If you've been paying attention to my channel, you'll know what we're talking about there on the bond market price of 100.53, where it's at right now. We want it to close above 100.5939, which will be good. Again, that'll put us right above the 100-day moving average, creating that as a new floor of support. Rates coming down. We're getting positive information. The Fed is talking about, their normal stuff, and we've had some information come out the other day that was like, yep, once jobs start being lost, that's going to be really great for interest rates. And it sucks that it's going to take the economy having a struggle in order for interest rates to start to decline. And it's just fascinating that the Fed is still confused at maybe why we're adding so many jobs right now. It's like, well, when it's unaffordable and inflation was high for so long and it's starting to come down, why people need 2 and 3 jobs? It's high. So maybe if you cut the Fed fund rate a little bit and make it a little bit easier out there, people won't need 2 and 3 jobs. So they'll be able to quit their second and third job. But this is just some of the stuff that we're going to experience throughout the time period. But that's why you want to talk with a local licensed residential mortgage loan officer that studies the market so you're aware of what's going on. So it's not just this crazy stuff that's being projected in the media, because you got to keep in mind the media is paid off of engagement and clicks. So of course, salacious, clickbaity stuff gets the advertisement dollars because people engage with that content. So if I tell you the sky is falling and, it's the end of the world, people are like, oh gosh, I got to get in because it's fear, right? I just don't like to operate or, put out content that's based on fear. I want to empower people to make a buying or refinance decision. And I think fear gets reduced and eliminated when you get information. And what's really important about all this is for you to go to the places where the information is aggregated so you know what's going on. And that's the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, BLS website. You can go there and look up data. It's so freaking badass. I wish I knew more about technology, how to share my screen during these lives. But if you go to the BLS website, you can pull up data on jobs, the CPI report, Consumer Price Index, PPI, Producer Price Index. You can look at all of this amazing information that can help you be an informed consumer. So you can see when people talk about inflation, what really is driving inflation numbers? What categories are driving it? Which one weighs the most? So you can see where all of this is coming from. So it's not just the media giving you a bunch of crap that they bumble together, because for the last few years now, the media has definitely fumbled the bag in saying that there's going to be a housing market crash. There's going to be price market. They're all going to come falling down. And that isn't the case. And I've shown you statistics and data on that as well, showing you that, all the inflation, all the home price appreciation information since 1942 on home prices here in the United States, showing you why there's been such a limited amount of times that the home prices have either stayed flat or went down some. And you guys have known that. It's all in my content. And I don't have enough people to have what do you call it? An organized list of videos, but I did save them and then make certain folders public. So if you go on my channel, you can go into my save videos and you can see some of the information I've aggregated for you guys from my own content to make it a little easier until I can have that access. And I don't know what it's going to take. I'm not about trying to get a bunch of followers. I'm here to educate. So we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, so the bond market is up 20 basis points. Good news. That means rates are coming down. So we want to continue to see that trend. This week is not a very super busy week for reports that can really move the market. Tuesday, today, nothing really going on. Tomorrow we've got New Zealand's interest rate decision, existing home sales, 20-year bond auction, could move some stuff. And of course, the minutes report comes out. But then Thursday, continuing jobless claims, initial jobless claims, and new home sales comes out. And then Friday, durable goods. We'll get to see what those reports. We're going to get to see Reuters University Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index, and the bond market closes at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in preparation for next week. So this week, it's going to be a little bit of a light week. maybe we'll see some movement. But if you're currently under contract and you locked your loan 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, you might want to contact your loan officer and ask about a float down. That's free. Typically, there's a negotiation with the lock desk because there's been a pretty decent rebound in the market, and you might be able to save some money. Maybe, maybe not. Something to look at, especially if you're in a new build and you're closing in the next 2 weeks. You might be right in that window to look at negotiating a float down. Thank you to everyone who's joining. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. But I'm just kind of giving a summary overview of what's going on in the mortgage market, the real estate market. I specify here in North Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex, but I can help anyone in the state of Texas. So if you have questions, like I said, put it in the comments, or you can reach out to me. I've got links in my stuff to schedule appointments, meetings. I'm here to make sure that you're taken care of. So I know right now a lot that's going out is these freaking value letters and companies trying to. Texas has some evil stuff going on. You're actually right, Raka. So cannot deny that right now. But there's some, it's just crazy when you start to really dive into like what's going on in Texas. But I'm going to focus on mortgages for this live. On other ones, I'll talk about some of the other craziness that's going on. But this one, mortgage market update. It's for realtors, loan officers, and also people who are in a buying position or refinance position, because a lot of marketing material and dollars are spent trying to convince people to refinance, and a lot of times it doesn't make sense. So you want to look at what you're doing over the next 3 to 6 years, and if you're possibly going to sell. So that's something you want to work out with the realtor who helped you close on your house. Always remember to try to reach out to the realtor you worked with who helped you purchase when you're wanting to get an analysis of what your home's worth. Because sometimes when the city is sending it to you, it's not actually what you could sell it for. Sometimes that number is lower than what you could actually sell it for. And that's why you want to talk with your realtor. And you can't really trust the online stuff like Zillow's estimates and these other ones, because they want your data. They want to sell your data to somebody who buys Zillow data so that they can make money. It's a consumer website. You're literally the commodity that they sell. So be careful when you're going online and entering stuff. I've also shared a video last week about optoutprescreen.com to help avoid your data getting sold, because like the credit bureaus will take that information, and then when there's a trigger lead, they'll sell that data. And there's creepy companies out there paying for that so that they don't have to really form a relationship. And I think that's wrong, but it is something that's happened. We got to define reality the way it is, not the way we want it to be. We can push and fight for the one we want it to be, but right now they sell our data. It's creepy, it sucks. So optoutprescreen.com will help reduce the amount of crap you get in the mail and also online. So it's super important. But yeah, market rates are coming down. But the thing you want to make if you're on the fence about buying and you're like, well, I'm going to rent for a little bit while longer until I figure out what's going on. That right there is costing you so much money. Hey, how's it going? Doing well. I'm glad you're on my live. If you have any questions, I'm here. I'm a licensed residential mortgage loan officer here in Texas. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments or text me or email me, whatever. But yeah, happy you're here. But there's a lot of misinformation about how this all works. And so if you're paying rent, I always tell my clients to look at what if you bought something with the equivalent payment? Because if you're in a 1-bedroom apartment and say the rent here in North Texas is like $2,000, well, I'm sure you could work together to help you find a condo with the equivalent payment. And yeah, it's under your budget. So then you don't have to worry about, you can turn it into an investment property in a year, sell it. At least you're accumulating your own net worth and forced savings through principal balance reduction, and you get the appreciation gains. Because here, like in 2021, home values went up almost 20% in 1 year alone. And so it doesn't always go up that fast, but because we have such a low amount of inventory with very exceedingly high levels of demand, it's going to be intense. Maintenance of even a small property can get out of control. You're actually right, Daniel. Absolutely can get out of control. But what's good when you're in a condo, you're only responsible for walls in. And that's where the HOA comes in. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to pay an HOA. But if you're paying rent in an apartment, the HOA, the maintenance costs and the person to come in and change your whatever and do the things is already baked into the payment. You just don't see it because it's not itemized out. And so when you buy a condo, you do have an HOA, and you want to make sure you're going into what types of things are covered in the HOA. But again, that helps save some of the maintenance costs, because again, you're only responsible walls in. And if you have a home warranty, that helps even further from things breaking like a dishwasher or a garbage disposal or refrigerator. Call your home warranty company, and usually it's a $50 deductible, and they'll either come out and fix the item or replace it if it cannot be repaired. And now all you're paying is $50 trip charge. You can get those for your regular home as well, but some of the ways to help to reduce out-of-pocket expenses, especially for a first-time home buyer, is looking at condos and townhomes. A lot of people don't think about it, but it can help. And think about this, like if you bought a $90,000 condo, I did an analysis on this and it's somewhere on my channel, your payment would be significantly less than the average market rent right now, especially here in Texas. And at least you're getting forced savings through principal balance reduction plus appreciation. And if you look at it even further, and I've shared this, imagine, especially with social media the way it is, if a person were to document every step of the way, buying a cheap one-bedroom condo or whatever, if they're renting a one-bedroom apartment, cool, buy a one-bedroom condo. Document start to finish with your social media and little renovations. If you got to renovate a 200 square foot or teeny bathroom, that doesn't take much. A lot of times there's little things you can do yourself, and that increases the property value. So that increases your net worth, because everything you do in your property, if you do it right, can help build that property value. So when you resell it, or if you're looking to use it as a potential positive cash flow rental property in the future, because if you stay in your home 12 months, you can get a rental agreement on it. It can help offset your hit to your debt to income ratio, and you can go buy another property as a primary residence after 12 months. So it's a good way to build your real estate portfolio without ever having to put 20% down. And you're doing it under your budget, so you're not stretching it. Because a lot of people wait to buy until they're buying their, like, what they think is going to be a long-term forever home. But statistically, most first-time home buyers are only in their home 3 to 6 years. So get into what you can comfortably afford, and at least you're not spending that money out to nobody. Because if you're paying rent, you're paying a mortgage, it's just not your own. And a lot of people will try to push you into higher and higher purchase price amounts. That ain't me. I like to make sure people feel comfortable and confident. So buy what you can easily afford, and I can help walk you through that as well. But yeah, if anybody has questions, put it in the comments. I'm here to talk about the mortgage market, real estate. I'm a mortgage loan officer here in Texas. I can help you anywhere in the state. If you are in a different one, let me know. I can connect you with a great loan officer there. But I do these usually on Monday. But on Monday, I had like some food poison action from Uber Eats and just was not about to do a live feeling like that. So here we are on Tuesday, giving you the live update and going from there. But yeah, any questions? Do you know anybody in New Jersey? Absolutely, I do. Fantastic loan officer up there. Larry Montani is amazing. 10 out of 10. Recommend him. He's with Cross Country Mortgage as well. He also does a really cool buying seminar at a country club up there. If you want, shoot me a text or an email and I'll connect you with him. So you can just go see his homebuyer seminar just to kind of get an idea of who he is, his team. But yeah, Larry Montani is who I would refer you to if you were up in New Jersey. He is amazing. Also, I'm sorry. Dude, yes, there's a stomach thing going around, and I thought it was Uber Eats, but I just got over the flu, and then Monday I woke up and I was like, I can't. My stomach was undone. But I'm sorry you're going through that too. Jesus, I hope you get better soon. But yeah, New Jersey is a unique way they do loans up there too. I think it's an attorney state. So yeah, Larry Montani, phenomenal. He's been doing it forever. Top producer. I trust him. If I was in New Jersey and needed a loan, that's who I would use personally. So Larry Montani. Great question though. Also, did you guys get the tornado? Not here in Dallas, but my partner, Monica, she was in Houston at the time because her family lives in Houston, and she was getting her mom's apartment ready for me to go down and move all the stuff after she passed away. So she was in Houston when this crazy storm was going on, and 4 people ended up dying down there. So that was crazy. She was safe, but we didn't see anything in Dallas where I was. At least I didn't. I also slept through. For me with tornadoes, I know a lot of people get freaked out, but I'm like, I'm sleeping through this thing. I'm either going to die or I'm not. I'm not worrying about it. Probably not the best, but I'm not afraid of that stuff. Because it is what it is. If a tornado wants your house, dude, it's like gone. So I'm either going to have my dignity sleeping in my bed, or I'm going to be freaking out clutched to my bathtub. And either way, I'm going to probably be peanut butter. So I'd rather be asleep. Even though sleeping is the most boring activity in the human world existence, if I could get away from it, I wouldn't. I would never sleep again, but I need it for like health and stuff. It's so boring. But yeah, This week, like I said, slow week, but just the last reiterating to summarize the things that I've went over today. You can go there for yourselves. Go to optoutprescreen.com and you can fill out the information, electronically opt out. You can also do it to where you can mail it. Also, thank you. I did get a stomach virus, but I did manage to catch. COVID is a beating, and I got the flu twice this year. Like, I never get sick. Dang, stuff's going around. Stay healthy. Drink some freaking tea. Do the stuff. I thought you were Tony Stark for a second. See, the good thing about that is my partner also has a crush on Tony Stark, so I really get to win on that deal. But I wish. Yeah, Monica likes that character. Also, Robert Downey Jr. But yep. She's way cooler than me. Monica Rial, you can look her up. She's badass. I outkicked my coverage. But yeah, happy to answer any other questions people have. But thank you so much, Magnus, for even chiming in on that and saying some positive things. I'm not here to get a bunch of likes, or do not ever, if anybody ever tries to message you trying to get money from you or do donations or subscribe, don't do that shit. Not me. I don't need it. Decline. I ain't inviting people on either. What's your page about? So what it is, I'm a local licensed residential mortgage loan officer here in Texas. So I help people get the financing they need to invest in single family property. So 1 to 4 units. I also help investors and people purchase up to like 25 unit apartments, but it's primary residence or single family residence, or think about where somebody's going to live. That's what I help people with. And so I also like to talk about books, mental health, toxic masculinity, politics, religion, a little bit of everything. So it's pretty much whatever my ADHD brain thinks about, or whatever. What's your favorite book? And what was the last one you read? It's a good conversation. Magnus. Also, super cool first name. I don't know if you have even cooler last name, but Magnus is pretty sweet. But yeah, let me see. I'll pull up. Also, last little piece I wanted to touch on. So I talked about the optoutprescreen.com. Do that. I'm reading Wizard of Oz. Oh, I would love to read the old school story. Like, I've heard it's pretty twisted, so keep me posted on that deal. It happens. I'm trying to think of the new book that I just got yesterday that came in the mail. I'll post about it tonight. But Gods and Mortals by Sarah Iles Johnson is one I just finished or was working on, and it is so good. Currently reading Sirius Alice's Edge. I haven't checked it out. I like it. That sounds like an interesting read. Cool. But yeah, it's awesome. Well, I did finish. The Love Witch is so legit. It's one of my favorite movies. 10 out of 10. The thing about it that I feel is misguided in that movie, like, you can tell in the beginning she was cheated on, or the guy was a bad person to her, and of course she's going to take empowerment, and it's like this thing as she goes through, and these guys who fall in love with her, they forget to respect her boundaries, and the entire movie you see these pathetic dorks who obsess over a person without getting to know her, and it's like, of course. But I can go on and on. I love that movie, and I love how it paints men too, because a lot of times they're just creepy dorks. So yes, so good. If you like that one, there's another good movie that's out on Netflix called Miller's Girl. Fantastic movie, amazing. I liked it, but I think people will misunderstand that movie, kind of like what happens sometimes with people that read out of or misunderstand The Love Witch. Let me see. Right, I feel like. Yes, kind of like what actually happened during that time period where Gardner and all of them were being creepy with women in order to do or be involved in that sphere. But yeah, so it's fun to bring some of those levels, because when you're doing business, we do business with people we know, like, and trust. And that's why I share some of my personal aspects on here and where I stand. Because as a loan officer, I'm not here just to help you with one transaction. I want to be your lender for life. And sometimes that might mean I give you guidance to take advantage of the builder's incentives, and then we'll catch you on the refi. But yeah, it's important to work with people you know, like, and trust. And that's why I talk about movies, books, mental health, all that stuff, because life's too short. It's interesting. Haven't checked that out. I'll have to. I will check that movie out for sure. But yeah, there's so many great loan officers on this app. And so I want you guys to look at all of the people that you see. There's a guy that goes live on here all the time. Sometimes I see him visit my lives, but his name's Carlos. He's phenomenal. Check out people. Listen, everybody has their own unique situation, and you want to be empowered and have conversations with people. There's enough business to go around. And as long as you feel comfortable and confident with the person you're working with, we all pretty much have very similar rates, very similar programs, very similar costs and fees. So, oh, there he is, Carlos Munoz. He's in the chat. Go follow that guy. He's awesome. He provides fantastic information. He's licensed in multiple states. Dude is awesome. I love his content. And I will surf on certain loan officers' lives just to get a vibe. And he's one of the dudes on here. I don't know him personally, but I trust him, and because I love his content and what he talks about. So he's in the chat. If you don't follow him, go follow him. He's awesome. He's everywhere too. So he provides fantastic content. One day I have to figure out how you do that little thing where you show like your calculator, because like I got the calculator, which I've had forever. I'm like, how does he? And I have the app. I'm like, how do I show people with the screen? I'm like, I don't know. Technology's not my best friend. So sweet, I appreciate it. But I had to start sharing because there's just so many misinformation out there, and it's just unfortunate. Like people are getting taken, and like I've shown the statistics and data for somebody that's renting an average price of place, especially here in North Texas, which is like 2,600, that the opportunity cost in a 12-month period between missed opportunity and appreciation and also missed opportunity and forced savings through principal balance reduction, it's costing people $50,000 to $75,000 a year in opportunity cost. And that's why people keep falling farther and further behind, and they're wondering why they can't catch up. And this roller coaster ain't slowing down. And I just want as many people as I can to start building their own long-term generational wealth through home ownership, whether they use me or someone else. But this is what's so cool about this app. We have other loan officers across the country who share and help each other so that we can serve as many people as we can while we can, because this stuff, it's intense. And so, yeah, go give them a follow. I do have to get ready for my 1 o'clock, but this month has been awesome. I appreciate everybody who chimes in, shows up, my realtors who pop in, do monthly lunch and learns. I've got one coming up next week at Capital Title here in Plano. We're talking about first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance and closing cost programs, and different opportunities to help people get into homes right now. So if you're a realtor, you're here in North Texas, you want to come out, it's always the last Wednesday of the month, and I will shoot you the information. But thank you so much for everyone's here. I'll post this on my YouTube, and we'll go from there, and I will talk to you soon.